Angela, are you coming?
Yes, I'll be right down, Mama.
3.5.
What?
Doggone. Went up 3.5 yesterday. Looking good.
Here you go, darling.
Is that cold?
Well, any colder, you'd need a spoon.
Where's Chris?
I'm here. Where are the hamburgers?
It's all right, honey. Your sister's gonna do that.
She could set the table. I'll do the burgers.
Okay, well, everything is on the tray. The fire's all set. Gosh, I hope the weather's gonna hold.
No, it can't rain. Jenny and I are gonna go riding.
You might as well live at that stable.
Mom.
Lee, come on. There isn't enough for young people to do in Little Washington, you know that.
How many? Lee? 2 for you?
2's fine. Keep this up, and you can make our breakfast tomorrow.
I won't be here. Got to get back to the university tonight.
Tonight? I thought you were staying over.
Term paper due on Monday. It's very important.
Oh.
Is this all the barbecue sauce?
Oh, there's more in the kitchen.
No, you stay right here.
Term paper. Did you hear that? You can't say he isn't trying.
Maybe. Maybe he is.
Leaf, let's encourage him.
Honey, I've wanted nothing but the best for that boy since we married. Y'all know that. But he has got to pull his own weight.
He will.
Is anybody hungry?
I'm starving. Let me take over.
No, ma'am. I've started it and I'll finish it.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Ladies, just settle down. All right, good. You sit tight.
Police dispatch, can I help you?
This is an emergency.
Well, what do you need, ma'am?
I need the police and an ambulance.
Where do you need them?
110 Lawson Road.
Lawson? Lawson?
Yes.
I can't hear you very well, ma'am. Could you speak up?
I'm sorry. The intruder could still be in the house.
Okay, why do you need an ambulance?
My husband may be dying, and I may be dying too. I have been beaten and stabbed.
Okay, what is your name, please?
Bonnie von Stein.
Okay, now, Bonnie, hold on just a minute, and I'm getting an officer on the way, okay? Don't hang up on me, all right?
All right.
Is someone in your house?
I don't know if someone is here still or not.
Okay, I have an officer on the way, and I want you to stay right there with me, okay?
I don't know where my daughter is.
They're getting there as fast as they can, and I'm gonna stay with you, okay?
Okay.
Where is your husband, Bonnie?
In the bed. I can't reach him. I'm on the floor.
Where are you in the house?
I'm in the upstairs bedroom on the right. My daughter is in the next room. Oh, God, I hope this is a bad dream.
Damn, let's make it to the back.
Front door's locked. No sign of entry.
Bonnie, you still with me?
Yes.
Okay, don't pass out on me now.
I'll try. I'll try.
Door's open. Back door's been forced. What the hell?
The police are here. I hear.
Yes, I'm in contact with them. They're coming in.
Oh, God. I've got cats. I don't want my cats hurt.
Oh my God, in this world.
Officer.
Yes, ma'am? Oh, man.
My daughter in the next room. Is she all right?
Go check on the daughter. Dispatch rescue. Call a rescue.
It's not a dream. It's not a dream.
What is it?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. What's going on?
You're gonna have to get up and put some clothes on. Daughter's okay.
Your daughter's fine.
Oh, thank God. My husband. He must be bad.
Don't look at him, ma'am. Just don't look at him. What's that on your jeans? Is that blood?
Huh? No, that's just old saddle soap. I go horseback riding a lot. What is going on? Mama? Mom?
Don't let my daughter in here.
Mom?
Get her out of here.
Mama?
Let's go downstairs.
Hello?
Chris?
Mama and Leith got beat up and stabbed, and I think that you should come home right now, right away. Leith is dead.
Car keys. Where are my car keys? Where are my car keys? What's the matter?
Campus security.
Yes, you have to help me. My mom and Leith have been stabbed.
Hold it. Where are you?
No, you have to come get me now.
Hey, Billy, look at that kid.
Hey, stop! My parents have been beaten and stabbed, and I lost my car keys, and I gotta get home.
Get in. Oh, this is Ramsey. We got a 1026. 1026 en route.
What do we do about all this?
Yeah. They're taking over to Beaufort County Hospital. She's still conscious, but she ain't making much sense. That's her daughter over there. She's helped round up all these cats. Yeah, there's a rooster, too. Mrs. Von Stein's a member of the Humane Society.
Here, I was sleeping right here.
Uh-huh. And you didn't hear anything from your parents' room?
No,
Nothing at all? No sounds of any kind?
no.
What's that on your jeans?
It's all in saddle soap. You know, I told them already.
Yeah. You didn't hear anyone come into your room, did you?
No.
That's good. Yeah. Is there an attic in this house?
Yes,
How'd you get to it?
top of my closet there. But it's jammed with my clothes. I don't see how anyone could use it.
Uh-huh. What time did you go to sleep?
I guess about midnight.
You get up for a drink?
No.
There's still ice in the glass.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe, because my fan's been on.
Yeah. This way.
Where is she?
She's down there. She has a punctured lung, several stab wounds. Her condition at this moment is stable, but you can't talk to her. We have her under sedation.
Stay back, please. Stay back. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to stay back.
Louis Young, State Bureau of Investigation. Where can I find Detective Taylor?
He's on the back porch.
What you got, John?
Hey, Louis. One hell of a gory mess. This guy was clubbed and stabbed in his own bed. I've seen a few, but this one really kind of shakes you up, you know?
You find anything yet?
Nothing but this green knapsack here. At least the daughter says she never saw it before. There was nothing in it. I was just taking some shots at the break-in here.
Well, this doesn't make sense.
What?
Right by the doorknob, a little window. The only one had to do is break through it, turn the knob, so why? Would they break some big window over here, almost a foot away?
Guess you'd need a hell of a long arm to open that knob.
Yeah.
What?
You think this was staged to make it look like a break-in, maybe on the way out?
You don't think they came here with robbery in mind, huh?
I think what they had in mind was murder.
Step back, please. Step back.
Angela, I'm so sorry. I can't believe it. How's your mom?
I don't know. You know, I was over there at the hospital, but there's nothing that I could do. I hate hospitals, man. You want a cigarette?
Would you look at them? Yeah, those kids over there, I just don't understand. It's as if they're watching a parade.
Bring it in. Come on.
What's back here?
Chris? She, they took her to the hospital.
I know, it's just there. He said she's gonna be all right. You okay?
Chris, do not go inside. The police are everywhere, and they keep asking me questions like I was involved. Can you believe it?
What the hell? You just put that out there for everyone to see? I'll kill him. Whoever touches my mother, I'll kill him. Bastard.
Nothing like this ever happens around here. It's scary.
Could you see who it was? Could you see if there was more than one?
I don't know. He was...
Who?
Leith. We were screaming. I was screaming. Oh, God.
Go on, please.
My head, something struck my head like an explosion.
Can you describe who struck you? Mrs. Von Stein. You stay right here, okay? I want this room guarded until further notice. Whoever did this to him may try again. Staying here with your friend for a while?
Maybe till the weekend, then back to school.
You don't mind answering a few questions, do you?
What can I tell you? I wasn't there. University's over 2 hours.
Summer session?
Yeah, I've had trouble with my grades.
When's the last time you saw your family?
Huh? Saturday. We had a barbecue outside, and then I had to drive back. I had a term paper to work on.
Uh-huh. What about Sunday? Cigarette?
I was up late. Real late, playing cards and drinking beer with a couple of girl students and a friend of mine. When Angela called, I was so out of it, just went kind of nuts. Couldn't find my car keys and ended up having the campus police bring me home.
Any family problems?
No, sir.
Did you know that your stepfather recently came into a large inheritance?
Well, I knew he spent a lot of time working on stock investments. But, you know, I don't know anything about that stuff.
You don't know he left over $2 million?
Well, yeah, I heard it was a lot.
$2 million.
Hey, look, I still can't believe all this. It's just too fantastic.
I know what you mean.
Okay, it's right in here, on your left. There you go. It's right over there. Yeah, it's the darndest thing. It was about 4:30 in the morning. The fire was burning like it was being fueled up by something. I didn't want to bother y'all, but it just seemed kind of funny to me. You go right here. Oh, what do you think? Is it the right thing to call you?
Oh, yeah, by all means. I don't know yet what significance these things have, but...
What's that?
You want to know what I think of it?
Tell me, John.
Well, these lines are streets. And blocks are obviously houses. How am I doing?
You're doing okay so far. Carry on.
Little stick figures, animals, you know, maybe dogs.
Dogs, very good. Dogs, very, very good.
Thank you. Coming from you, that's a nice
I
compliment.
understand how you feel, but see, you have missed a key ingredient right here. Printed by hand, the longest line right here.
I was saving the best till last. Lawson be the name of the street where the murder took place.
That's right. So what we probably have here is...
Map of the Smallwood subdivision.
Von Stein House, 5th on the block next to the drainage ditch. Dogs in the neighborhood to look out for.
Who do you suppose drew this little house finder?
Who you think?
I think somebody who wanted somebody else to use his knife.
What did you find in the Von Stein autopsy?
Well, he was stabbed several times in the back, struck repeatedly on the head with a blunt object, and he had numerous cuts and bruises on his arms.
You think he's possibly faced more than one attacker?
Quite possible.
Yeah. I understand that his wife lost almost 40% of her blood before reaching the hospital. If she were, well, let's say if she were involved in the crime somehow, could she have had her injuries inflicted to make her appear innocent?
No, far too risky. No, I can't imagine it. We're talking life-threatening injury here. No one will take that kind of a chance.
As soon as you're better, honey, you're gonna come to the farm and live with us.
Thank you, Daddy. Frankly, I'm anxious to get out of here once they get all these tubes out of me.
Your grandma and I stay with her. We're gonna be right here in this town until they discharge you, honey.
Oh, Daddy, I don't want you to hang around that long.
Oh, darling, we want to.
Excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt anything. I just had a couple questions, but I can come back later.
Are you the man from the State Bureau of Investigation?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, well, God bless you, son. I just hope you all find the monster that did this thing soon. You sure you feel like talking to him now, honey? 'Cause if you're not up to it yet...
No. Go on, Daddy. I'm fine. Really, I'm just fine.
If you're sure, Polly, let's you and I go down and get something to eat.
See you later. I doubt very much that I can help you.
If you could tell me first something about the weekend it happened. Now, your son said he was home for a cookout on Saturday.
Yes. But then he had to go back to school to work on a term paper.
Okay. And the next morning?
The next morning, Leith and I drove to Greenville for breakfast.
Angela go with you?
No, she went horseback riding again. Leith had plans. You see, he had wonderful plans for us that we discussed at breakfast.
Now listen, January 1st, in fact. I quit my job. We devote all our time to managing our investments. I know damn well we can do better than that bank.
No, I believe you can, but you really want to quit your job.
Yeah, we set up a little mobile home office here in town. Our own investment company.
Without a fixed income, you got to go into a capital savings, Leith.
Bonnie, I know that we can do this. Son of a gun, we're going to take the rest of our lives and do what we want to do.
Oh, he was so excited. He was happy that morning. And when we went back to the house, we both felt like getting right to work.
Harlequin. Harlequin. Oh, Harlequin 43.
Down 6, better unload.
Marex 19.
Bonnie, that's it. That's the one. You were right. She's still going
I
up.
told you, Lamb Q was what, 20?
You know what?
What?
I have another brilliant idea.
What?
On January 2nd, we're going on our honeymoon.
After 10 years, Leith.
Well, we never had one, did we? I married a ready-made family. A wife, 2 kids, and no honeymoon. Let's take a cruise.
Where?
No, I don't know. West Indies, the Bahamas. Blue skies and gentle breezes. What do you say?
Yeah, I suppose if I have to.
Enough. No more stocks this morning. We have plans.
Oh? What plans?
Come on now. Come on, you know what plans.
Leith.
Now, just never mind. There's nobody here but us. The cat's out back and that rooster. What do they care?
We ate out again that night. Our favorite restaurant. And when we came home, Leith went right upstairs to bed. I sat watching television for a while. Angela was in her room reading. The movie was about this serial killer, Ted Bundy. And I had my cats with me, and I brought the rooster in. Well, like I do just once in a while. So when I went upstairs to bed, Leith had already dozed off. You want your iced tea, honey?
No, thank you.
Angela's stereo was very loud. Honey, turn that down, please.
Fine.
Night.
Night.
Then I went to sleep, and the next thing I heard was Leith. He was screaming.
Do you have any better impression now of what the intruder looked like?
Very dark in the room. But I'll tell you, I am certain that he was a big man. He just had these big shoulders, you know. kind of blended into his head. It was almost as though he had no neck. Oh, he
Gone.
Well, the thing is, I'm terribly nearsighted without my glasses.
Let me ask you something. Leith being your second husband, did he ever have any trouble with your children?
Oh, no. No, not at all. Why?
Not your daughter or your son.
No. Excuse me, why are you asking me all these questions? I'm surprised you aren't out there trying to find out who did this.
Well, it's a little more complicated than finding a thief. You see, very little, if anything, was stolen. It appears to have been a premeditated murder.
Oh. No. No. I mean, what? Who in the world would want to kill us? Why did you say that? Oh. You think he might try again?
Excuse me. You Bill Hargrave?
Yeah?
Detective Lewis Young, State Bureau of Investigation. I'd like to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
You Chris Pritchard's friend?
Yeah, roommate.
And you were with him when his sister called night of the murder?
Yeah, I was there.
How'd he act when he found out about his mother and stepfather?
Crazy. He was yelling for his car keys. I mean, he tore up the room looking for his car keys.
You ever talk about his stepfather inheriting a lot of money?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you might have mentioned it. Mostly what we talked about, you know, Dungeons and Dragons.
What about Dungeons and Dragons?
Well, you know, the game.
No, I don't know. Tell me.
Well, it's not exactly easy to explain. It's what you might call a role-playing game. You and your friends pretend to be a character like a warrior or a wizard, and you act out a story.
What kind of story?
Well, anything. Like you might escape a deep, dark dungeon, or overpower a dragon, or chase an evil wizard out of town. And if you do it, you can earn fame and treasure and power for your character.
Students around here talk much about the murder?
Sure.
Who do you think did it?
Well, I don't know. You hear a lot of rumors.
What kind of rumors?
Well, like maybe he was murdered by drug dealers, because they say Chris owed money for drugs.
You believe that?
Well, anything's possible. Listen, I gotta go.
Thank you for your time.
Oh, I got a hold of Dr. Egan this morning. He says that your first appointment to begin that plastic surgery is Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the vet called from Little Washington. The cats and the rooster are doing fine, and you can bring them out here anytime you want.
Why?
Why, what, honey?
I just don't understand why. I mean, it has been weeks now. And the police, I mean, they found nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I know. But they must be trying.
Do you know, I heard that some of the neighbors walked right into the house and started cleaning up that very day? I mean, they started scrubbing the floor and wiping out any fingerprints that might have been there. I thought the crime scenes were supposed to be kept secure to protect any of the evidence. God. The way things are going, they'll never find out who did it. You could try again any day, too. Anytime.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that, honey. You wouldn't dare try it again.
We don't know that. I'm scared. I am scared. Oh. God, I miss him. Leith. Leith.
Chris, let's move it. Calculus 3 in 4 minutes. Chris, look. You don't want to miss another class.
Hello?
Hello, darling. I just called to see how you're doing. Chris?
Okay, I'm okay.
Why don't you come out and visit your grandma and grandpa and me at the farm this weekend?
Can't.
Oh, well. You know, it's been almost 5 weeks.
Can't talk now, Mom.
Well, how about next weekend?
I'll call you later.
Okay, darling, whenever you want.
It's not right, Polly. Those kids ought to come out here and see her more. They go visit each other, don't they? I know Angela goes up to university to see Chris. So why can't you come on out here?
Well, we're a lot further away, George. You know that. For her to come here from Little Washington takes 5 hours.
Little Washington. What's she doing staying up there anyway, in a friend's house?
Well, she's got some kind of job there now.
Well, I think they ought to come out here and see their own mother.
They will, George, in time. Bonnie is gonna be all right.
Let's hope so.
Chris, what's wrong?
Hey.
Pritchard's going crazy, man. That guy is nuts.
It's down this way. Come on, let's go over here.
What's he on?
I don't know.
Oh, man, we gotta get moved. Where the hell is Move?
Oh, no, Chris. Chris. Hold him.
Chris!
I'll do it. I'll settle the score. I'll kill him. I'll kill him.
I'm calling an ambulance. No, nobody call an ambulance. It's just a bad trip, that's all. I seen him before. Chris! Chris!
I've got the light and I'm gonna throw it out the window. It'll light up everything.
Chris, listen to me, man. Chris, look at me. Look, it's Move, man. It's gonna be okay. Y'all just take it real easy. It's gonna be okay, man. Y'all clear out. Let me talk him through it. Come on, get out of here!
Stay in Move.
All right. We're gone. She ain't Ashley, but we're okay. Now, what do you see, man? Chris, what do you see? You see Moog, right? You see your friend Moog, right? Your buddy. Now we're gonna settle down and we're gonna get right through this, right, Chris? I'm gonna keep talking and you keep listening to me, okay, Chris? Okay? We're gonna be just fine. Don't fight it. We're gonna be fine. Shh. You're okay. You're okay.
Bonnie, honey, did I hear the phone?
Yes, Mama. It was someone from the university. Psychologist. He said that Chris is going through a very bad emotional period right now. He advises a medical leave of absence.
In school?
Mm-hmm. He thinks it would be beneficial. He said he doesn't think he has enough emotional stability to cope with school right now. Well, I know what it is. He feels guilty about not being there when it happened. And he might have done something to help, though God knows what, huh?
Ask him to come here, Bonnie. We've got through.
We sure have.
I am not going to be a burden on you any longer.
Burden?
I have been thinking about Leith's parents' house in Winston-Salem. You know, they left that to him. And no one has been in it for a year. It's furnished. It belongs to me now.
You don't want to move to Winston-Salem.
I was there so many times with Leith. Wonderful times. You know, it's part of him. And in a way, I think I'll even feel closer to him there.
I think you're doing the right thing, darling.
Hi. Well, did you get the job at the tire store?
I'm hired.
Oh, good. Then they didn't mind that you had to take off Thursday afternoons for the psychiatrist.
They said I could make it up on Saturday mornings.
Well, you're going to learn more about tires than you ever wanted to know.
Who was just here?
I decided to put a security system in front and back. Give us a little peace of mind. Now, Chris, I'm going back to Little Washington tomorrow.
What for?
Well, the doctor there wants to x-ray my lungs, make sure everything is all right. And then I'm going right over to that police station, and I'm going to demand an accounting of everything that they have done. Or haven't done.
You'll be back tomorrow night?
Oh, yeah, I'll be here. With all the security, we don't have anything to worry about. As a matter of fact, I've gone one step further. I have a gun now.
So have I.
You angry about something?
Yes, I'm angry. You're darn right I'm angry. The only investigation I've seen thus far is you're investigating me and my family. You've got everyone in the state of North Carolina thinking that we had something to do with this.
I understand your frustration, but the fact of the matter is...
Thank you. But I don't want your understanding. What I want is to find who killed my husband. Now, are you doing anything? I mean, anything at all? What do you want me to do? You want me to plead with you, beg you?
No.
Please tell me what you know. Just tell me.
We'll be happy to share with you all the information we've developed. But there's one thing you'll have to do first. You and Chris and Angela.
What?
Take a polygraph examination administered by the State Bureau of Investigation. You're under no legal obligation to do so. But the three of you are closest to Leith. And until you pass such a test, you can't be eliminated as suspects. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is.
Well, if that's all you want, I could have done that weeks ago. Of course we'll take a polygraph.
Fine.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, it's good to see you. You coming for a visit?
Yeah, I'm coming to stay for a while if it's all right with you.
Well, of course it is.
I quit my job at the market. And, I want to be back with you and Chris again, you know? I mean, my friends have been wonderful, but I want to feel like I'm part of a family again.
Bless your heart. I'd be so happy to have you stay, honey. Chris is at work, and your grandpa's outside finishing a cat shelter for me. What's the matter?
Almost gone. The scars.
Oh. Yeah. But there's one here that is so deep. They can't do much with it.
I guess maybe we've all got scars we can't get rid of.
We will, darling. We will. Almost finished. It looks great.
Yeah, I think we need a couple of hinges on that box inside so you can store supplies underneath. You better have a bunch of happy cats.
Oh, Daddy, I can't thank you enough.
Looks like you're just about settled in now. Chris feeling any better?
Some days good, some days not. They're never going to put this behind us till they find out who killed Leith.
Nothing new, huh?
They won't tell us anything until we take a polygraph test.
Polygraph?
I know it sounds ridiculous. That's what they want.
Now, look, Bonnie, I'm no legal expert by any means, but I don't think you ought to do anything like that without a lawyer.
You mean I gotta go get myself a lawyer?
Well, I sure don't like the way things are going so far.
The problem, Mrs. Von Stein, is the same problem with any unsolved crime. People get to talk, and unfortunately, this case has been going on for 6 months now. It's become an embarrassment to the police.
Well, it should be. The least they could do is eliminate us. You see, that's why I really want to take this polygraph.
Well, Mrs. Von Stein...
Oh, Bonnie's fine.
Bonnie, well, thank you. Well, let me say this first. Believe me, in my profession, I have been lied to by the best. And based on what you've told me, and the obvious sincerity in the way you've told me, I feel inclined to discard my normal procedure.
Your normal procedure?
Never to take a state-sponsored polygraph, but I feel in this particular instance, it might be of use, that is, for you, and perhaps for your daughter, after I've spoken to her.
Mm-hmm. But not Chris.
Well, your daughter, like you, was there at the time of the attack, but Chris is a different matter. Now, he was away at school, and therefore he can't be considered an intended victim. Now, I think that the investigators might look upon him in a different light.
Oh, dear. Well, so what should we do?
Well, if you take the test and the boy doesn't, that makes him a definite suspect. Now, there is going to be strong pressure from the police, and you know what I think? I think he should have a lawyer of his own.
Forgive me, but I mean, this is just so crazy. Here we just want the police to find out who did this thing, and now we have to hire lawyers to protect us from the police.
Bonnie, for your own sake, and for Chris, get the boy a lawyer. Do it right away.
Yes. Uh-huh. Mr. Osteen will see you now. He's right in there.
Hi. Osteen. Wade Smith and your mother have explained the situation to me. As I understand it, the State Bureau of Investigation would like you to take a polygraph.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? I have a report from your psychiatrist in Winston-Salem. You're taking a medication prescribed by him.
Yeah?
In my opinion, this medication and your present state of mind would render a state-administered polygraph unacceptable. On the other hand, it might look suspicious if you appear unwilling to take one now that your mother and sister have agreed. You don't have an opinion one way or the other.
Whatever you say. I'm not a lawyer.
Don't like that. At some time in the future, I'll arrange for you to take a private examination. I'll let you know in plenty of time.
Yeah? Okay. Is that all?
For now.
Right on time. The polygraph room is just this way. Where's Chris?
He won't be here.
What?
You know that he is seeing a psychiatrist. And he's under medication, so we have been advised that in his present state, a polygraph would not be effective.
Look, the reason we set the test for today was to accommodate your son's work schedule. And if he was going to tell us this was going to be a
We're
problem...
not criticizing you for standing up for your son, ma'am. We realize you're between a rock and a hard place.
You do? Well, I have been in a hard place since the night my husband was murdered. And neither you nor the Washington police have done a single thing to help me out of it. I therefore am in no mood to hear ugly remarks about my son. Shall we get on with this?
Are you ready to answer the question?
Yes.
Were you related to Leith Von Stein?
Yes.
Did you plan the death of Leith Von Stein?
No.
Did you help to plan his death?
No, I did not.
Do you know who stabbed him?
No.
Did you help someone stab Leith Von Stein?
No.
Were you involved in stabbing Leith?
No.
Do you know who stabbed him?
No, I do not.
What do we got?
Bonnie Von Stein? 12. She knocked the doors right off. Highest score possible, just blew it out.
What about Angela?
Interesting. +5.
+5, can you be a bit more specific?
Oh, yeah. See, it used to be that a minus or a +6, that would be considered inconclusive. But now they have revised the parameters, so anything over a 3, that's considered passing.
So she passed?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, when will the boy be taking the test?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Well, they promised us. They said if we passed the polygraph test, they would tell us everything they know. Well, it has been 5 weeks and they have told us nothing.
I don't think they're going to be satisfied until you take it, Chris.
It was so demeaning. I felt dirty.
If I were you, I wouldn't come near one of those machines.
Well, it's all a waste of time. It's just a waste of time. Do this. I'll get it. Hello?
Bonnie, I have some news that could be very promising.
Well, anything would be promising at this point.
They're getting a new police chief in Little Washington, and he's already made a statement that his #1 priority is to get this case solved.
It should have been #1 a long time ago.
Now, patience. Bonnie, I know it's difficult, but patience.
Gentlemen, what do we got? Here. This is what we got. We got one thin file on the Von Stein case. I wonder they're on my back to solve this case, and I've barely been sworn in office. Or maybe you've been spending too much time on petty robberies, on high school vandalism, and handing out parking tickets. But from now on, all that's gonna change. This bloody homicide happened in this town, in this county, and it's up to this department. We're the ones gonna be held accountable. Am I understood?
Yes, sir.
Now, we're gonna cooperate with the State Bureau of Investigation, but I want Lewis Young to know that we're gonna be taking the initiative.
Yeah.
Taylor, you shot the crime scene photos.
Yeah, I was there that morning.
I don't know what other cases they got you working on, but from now on, you're working on this case only. All right, gentlemen, let's go over the file. Here's what we got. #1, we got a map with the exact location of the Von Stein house. I want to know who drew it and why. We got a knife. It might be the same knife used to kill the victim, only we can't prove it. #3, we got us a green knapsack that nobody in the family's ever seen before. Where did it come from? Who does it belong to? Gentlemen, we're gonna start asking some questions around here. And we're gonna keep right on asking them until we get some answers. Now get it.
Yes, sir. All right, let's go.
Taylor.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Lewis Young took a statement from one of the students about a game, Dungeons and Dragons. You know anything about it?
No, sir.
Look into it.
Yes, sir. And Pritchard was with you.
Sure. Yeah, he was there. It was Chris and Josh Dugan were both with us the night of the murder.
They were in our dorm room, playing cards. We kept on asking them to leave.
Chris wouldn't go. Finally, about 3:30 in the morning, then he asked what time it is.
And he left.
And you were just playing cards, hmm?
Yeah.
You ever play Dungeons and Dragons?
No, never.
How about Chris?
Sure. Chris and Hargrave and Dugan and Moog.
Moog?
Or they call him Moog. His real name is James Upchurch. These guys, they live the game.
It gives them this crazy thing, like they got real powers and charms that they don't have in real life.
But what you have to do is you have to follow the instructions of the Dungeon Master,
Who's the Dungeon Master?
Moog.
Oh. Is he around here now?
No, he left a long time ago.
You don't know where I can find him, do you?
We have a few questions to ask, Mr. Pritchard.
Well, my mom in here.
No, you. We want to talk to you.
Mind if we come in? I thought you had to leave your parents' house Saturday night and rush back to school so you could work on a term paper.
Yeah, the term paper was very important.
You never got it done.
Not after the call from Angela.
But you were up until at least 3 o'clock in the morning. So if nobody had been killed, when were you going to write this important paper?
Yeah, right. That was a problem. You know, I mean, you have all these good intentions. It's just hard to apply yourself.
You had plenty of time for Dungeons and Dragons, though.
That's different.
Why?
It's not like you're playing cards. It's an intellectual game. It's challenging. It's not a waste of time.
Yeah? Who'd you play with?
Mostly Bill and Moog.
Moog? Where can we find Moog?
I don't know.
Well, think about it.
He left school. I don't know.
Is he in Raleigh?
I told you I don't know where he is.
Chris, we'd like you to do us a little favor. Would you draw us a little map? You know, nothing fancy, of your neighborhood at Smallwood? Just so we can orient ourselves?
Sure. I don't know how many streets you want here.
Just the blocks around your house. Be fine.
Why don't you print the name of your street there, Lawson?
No problem. I don't really see how this is gonna help anything.
Well, you never know.
So you drew them a map, and you printed the name of your street. Do you have any idea what they wanted it for?
No, sir.
You should have called me right away. From now on, I don't want you talking to any law enforcement officer unless I'm right there.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you this, you're becoming a target, perhaps the target of the investigation. Now is the time for a polygraph, a private polygraph as soon as possible.
Dungeon Master's Guide, a Monster Manual, a Monster Manual 2, and the Player's Handbook. Here, get this. Yeah. A dungeon is a group of rooms where monsters and treasure can be found. You carry a backpack and a dagger in your boot. You will make a map of the dungeon so you won't get lost. Yeah, map, that's what it says. The players enter a castle and kill the overlord in his sleep. If successful, they will inherit all his wealth and powers. The more times they stab the overlord, the more experience points they will receive.
God. Oh, my God.
I'll tell you, it's obvious these drugged up kids decided to act out this Dungeons and Dragons fantasy for real.
Yeah. Here. Take a look at this. Young and I had Pritchard draw that up yesterday afternoon. If you compare the two street names there, Lawson, that's the map from the fire.
Perfect match.
Yeah, I think so too. We still have to get verification from the FBI, though.
Pritchard draws a map to his house for one of his friends. Which friend?
Well, we're working on that now. We know at least two of the guys that were with him that Sunday.
Find him and lean on him.
Yes, sir, we'll try.
No, don't try. I want you to find him.
Yes, sir. Your name Josh Dugan?
Yeah.
Well, we need to talk for a moment.
Well, I'm working.
We'll take a break.
Pritchard? I hardly know the guy.
You played Dungeons and Dragons with him, didn't you?
Yeah, but it wasn't like he was a friend of mine, you know? I mean, none of those guys, not even Moog.
Moog? The Dungeon Master?
Yeah, well, we were all at a very advanced level.
Oh, really? Advanced like what?
Well, we had these campaigns, stories, the scenarios worked out. I mean, there are 50, 60-hour campaigns that go 4 or 5 hours at a time.
Doing what?
Well, we go down in the steam tunnels.
Steam tunnels? What steam tunnels?
At the university, they got like these steam tunnels. And we go down there with these fake samurai swords and wave them around and pretend to duel.
You and Chris and Hargrave and Moog?
Yeah.
Where's Moog, huh? Where can we find him?
I don't know. I hadn't seen him in weeks.
He has a police record, you know. Burglary. Did you know that?
No.
Well, you ask around. You ask your friends.
Sure, okay.
Good, you do that. Because I'm going to be back.
All right, are you ready to take the test?
Yes.
Is your name Christopher Pritchard?
Yes.
Did you set up the murder of your stepfather?
No.
Do you know the name of the person who stabbed Lee?
No.
Why don't you wait down there till I get the results?
All right.
You be sure to send me your bill.
Oh, I'll do that.
Understand now. They base everything on the nature and degree of the tracings.
Yes.
That's how they make their analysis.
And, well, you could please just tell us.
The analysis indicates that the responses are not indicative of deception. In other words, you passed.
Oh. Well, of course he did. I never doubted that for a moment.
Louis Shaw, may I help you?
Yes, Mr. Young. Bill Osteen here. I just wanted you to know that I've been retained as a lawyer for Chris Pritchard.
I wasn't aware he had a lawyer.
Oh, yes. I'll be representing him concerning the polygraph.
It was my understanding he's refused to take an SBI polygraph.
That's not necessarily so.
Well, good. I'll ask him about when I see him tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah, I'm on my way to Winston-Salem right now. I'm supposed to meet with the family.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I certainly appreciate you calling, Mr. Osteen. I'm sure we'll be in touch with each other. Maybe next week. Thanks again. Damn.
What?
I blew it.
Yeah, you see this? I don't even think we need to share that with
Oh, I agree. I don't think you need to see either one of these.
There she is.
Hello. Is this
This is Chris.
Oh, he's not coming.
Why not?
Well, his attorney, Mr. Osteen, doesn't want him to be interviewed unless he himself can be present.
Just how long has Mr. Osteen been involved in the case?
I retained him to represent Chris in January. He was recommended by my own attorney, Wade Smith.
Wade Smith. You've hired the biggest name in criminal law in North Carolina, Bonnie. You never told me a damn thing about having any attorneys involved.
I didn't think it was any of your business.
Since when do victims need attorneys anyway?
I long ago have lost confidence in the police to find my husband's murderer.
What are you talking about?
And furthermore, I have found that the police are not only incompetent, but in trying to cover up their own mistakes. They could accuse an innocent person, couldn't they?
Let me see that. Let me tell you something. John Taylor and I came here tonight prepared to go over everything we've discovered so far. Piece by piece, page by page with you. But you know what? We're not gonna do it. Not now.
What are you
No, we're
talking
not gonna do it.
about?
As a matter of fact, I'm never gonna discuss this case with you again.
I want to see that file.
Look, Bonnie, we know that Chris is involved. But it could be purely innocent. He may not even realize that he provided information that led to your husband's death. But he was involved. Now, we're willing to make arrangements with him, but we got to talk to him without a lawyer present. Now, if we can't do that, we're just going to have to go ahead and build our case against him.
And we can do it.
Now, may I say something? I know for a fact that Chris had nothing to do with this. Nothing at all. And I have my own proof of this.
Oh, yeah, proof? What proof?
A polygraph. Mr. Osteen arranged it.
A private polygraph?
Yes.
Proving you get what you pay for. Thank you very much.
By the polygraph, you can be sure to get the results you want, but it doesn't mean a damn thing.
Look, you say you want the truth. You say you want to find the guilty person. But that's only true as long as he isn't your son. Isn't that right?
Look, Bonnie, just bear in mind that the first person that comes forward is the person we're going to deal with. This could be Chris's last chance. Right here.
You may talk to Chris as much as you want as long as Mr. Osteen is present.
This meeting is over.
Mom? What's the matter? How'd the meeting go?
Chris, is there anything that you might have said? Anything, at school or in town to your friends? Anything that might have led to what happened? Anything?
No. No, Mom. I can't think of anything. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Watch your head. It's kind of low. So this is it, the famous steam tunnels. It's kind of dirty. I seen a couple kids sleeping in there one time. There's always some kind of freak running around this place. Yo. So we bring these torches and we set up the duels in here. Moog always called the shots. You put in your game hours, you collect your experience points. But Chris was damn good. Chris was always real intense. So he wrote this up here one night. Christopher Wayne Pritchard.
Why don't you give me that?
You can do anything down here. Nobody ever bothered us.
What are you talking about? You talking about doing drugs?
Some guys, sure.
What other games you play? What about murder, for instance? Listen to me carefully, Josh. We know that Chris planned it. You understand? We know that now. Now you gonna tell us all about it, is that right? Huh?
Listen, I swear to God, he never said anything to me.
Except what?
Except one time I remember us talking. About his parents, being rich. And then somebody goes, we ought to bump him off and get the cash.
Who said it?
I don't know.
Huh? Come on, speak up.
Well, yeah, I think it could have been Moog.
Where is Moog?
Look, I don't know if this is true, but somebody told me that they think he's working at a paint store over in Raleigh.
What paint store?
They didn't say. There can only be so many.
Come on.
All right. Find what you were looking for?
Okay, come on, let's go. Let's go. You and Chris Pritchard were very close, huh?
Right. Chris and Bill and Josh, all of us were real close. And what happened to Chris, man, it shouldn't happen to anyone. It's a terrible thing. I mean, the guy got paranoid afterwards,
Was he on drugs?
Drugs are a campus-wide thing. It's just with Chris, he just take it too far. I mean, whenever he got any acid, he'd, go running all over the dorms asking everybody if they wanted any. But he's just insecure, I mean, just wanted people to like him.
How'd he feel about his stepfather?
Well, I never got along, but I guess that's no secret, huh? I mean, there's always talk about how much money his parents had. Every couple of days, somebody say he ought to bump off his parents and get the money. But it was always said as kind of a joke.
You might have even said it yourself.
Yeah, right. I mean, a joke.
This belong to you?
No, sir.
You carry one around. I mean, you had one when they picked you up.
Yeah, I'd never seen that one before, sir.
Just a joke, huh?
Sir?
You and your friends. You just joking around about killing someone, right?
Yeah, right.
Show them the body.
This is serious stuff, huh?
Yeah, well, you're gonna get sick. Don't do it on the table.
Hey, look, man, this ain't my thing.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna listen to the first person who talks. The first person's the only one we're gonna listen to. And believe me, we're getting there. Ship's just about ready to pull out. We got room for one passenger. You understand what I'm telling you?
There's nothing I can tell you.
All right, then, let's take it from the top.
Here's where Mook says he's been living. Nice place.
Yeah, real nice, if you don't mind living with the roaches.
What's the apartment number?
It's 206.
You check out the paint store?
Yeah, they said Upchurch will be working there till 5. We're clear. Might need a search warrant if the roommate won't let us in, though.
He'll let us in. Let's get it.
Yeah, all right. Wait a minute.
Louis Young, State Bureau of Investigation. This is Chief Crone of the Washington Police and Detective Taylor. We have a few questions. Can we come in?
Yeah. Sure.
How long you lived here?
Oh, just a few months.
How long you known Upchurch?
We were in high school together and over at the university.
So then you know Chris Pritchard, huh?
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, what we're doing here, Mr.
Henderson, Neil Henderson.
We're looking for the guy who took a knife and a club to Pritchard's stepfather. I presume you heard about that.
Yes, sir.
We think that it might have been some kind of a game that got out of hand. Like Dungeons and Dragons, for instance. Maybe someone on drugs might have taken it too far without really meaning to. I see you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, yes, sir, but I can't imagine anybody doing what you said.
Yeah, well, maybe you and me could sit down over there and talk about it for a little while.
Yeah, well.
It'd just take a few minutes. Over there.
All right.
I got a hunch. Gut feeling I'm gonna scare the hell out of him. Keep looking around. First, I'd like to make something very clear to you. We know for a fact that Chris Pritchard was involved. Did you hear me? I said Chris Pritchard was involved. We know that for a fact. And we got our attorneys talking to his attorneys and just about ready to go down. And when he does, anybody knows anything and didn't tell us, I mean, they're in some deep trouble. If we find him guilty of any kind of involvement, I mean any kind of involvement, they could get the death penalty. I guess you know in this state that's the gas chamber. You know that?
Yes, sir.
The gas chamber.
What if I just gave them advice?
Well, that all depends on what kind of advice you gave them. You know how much you're involved in, huh? With only a little bit, we could clear it all up right now by you telling us. On the other hand, if you were really involved, I better get the DA here.
I guess you better get the DA.
You think it'd be worthwhile?
Let's just see, I can lay the whole thing out for you. I just want to get it off my mind.
Only what?
Only I really didn't expect it to happen. I really didn't expect to see blood.
call him up. I don't know where he is. I'm looking all over for him.
All right.
What do you want?
We're here for Chris. Is he at work?
No, he's right here at home with me. What do you want him for?
Bonnie, we're here to arrest him for murder. May we come in?
I know Chris couldn't have done this. I know that he couldn't have done it.
Bonnie, you better tell him we're here.
Where is your evidence? You don't have a shred of evidence.
We're not going to go into that now. Chris has an attorney. Mr. Osteen can discuss it with the DA. Would you get Chris, please?
Come on, let's go. Mom, I didn't do it. I didn't.
You be careful with him. I don't want to hear anything happening to him. I've heard of too many stories about what happens to people in police custody, and I hold you personally responsible.
Bonnie, nothing will happen to him. We're going to bring him back to Washington, and he'll spend the night in the Beaufort County Jail.
Well, it's shameful you walk in here and you drag out an innocent person in the street in broad daylight, and then you charge him with murder. May God forgive you. May God forgive you. May God forgive you.
Yes, I know, Ms. Von Stein. I just heard. They're taken to the Beaufort County Jail. First of all, we need a lawyer representing them right there in Little Washington. Immediately. Do you have anyone there you know?
My husband once did some work there with a lawyer named Vosburg.
Vosburg. Vosburgh. I'll contact him right away.
Miss Von Stein, I'm Jim Vosburgh.
Oh.
We're right in here.
Have you talked to Chris?
Just briefly.
Well, I brought him some clean clothes, because I'm sure he'll be going home with me when we're through here.
Well, now, I'm afraid it's not that simple. We're going to try and get the judge to set bail, but there's no guarantee of it. And even if he does, it's likely to require a very large sum of money. We're right down the corridor here.
Mom, did you bring my cigarettes?
I know, honey.
You didn't bring any cigarettes? I can't believe you.
Chris, to tell you the truth, son, I think your mother actually could use a hug right about now.
I can't believe you didn't bring me any cigarettes. I bet you didn't even bring me any change either. It's just like you.
Hey, listen, you. That's your mother standing there. Now, for the last 24 hours at least, she's been worried sick about you. Now, you get on up and give her a hug.
Oh, Mr. Vosburgh, you know, we've all been through an awful lot in the last 24 hours. Chris more than anybody else. It's all right, darling. I know how you feel.
I got nothing here. No magazines, no cigarettes. I'm gonna need change for the vending machines.
Chris, son, you're here because a friend of yours, Neil Hennison, has made devastating statements under oath involving you. Statements the police are keeping under wraps. Now, with all due respect to your mother, candy and cigarettes are not your great problem right now, son. The first thing we've got to do is get you out of here. Do you understand?
Excuse me, please.
coming
We're
through.
trying to get through. Thank you, officer.
Who paid for the $500 million bail bond? Did it come out of your inheritance from your husband? Buy out church in Henderson to kill your stepfather?
We're all right here.
I can't nail it, Bill. I truly cannot. But I can tell you this. There is something really weird about that kid. I mean, he does not have normal reactions.
Never mind his reactions. We got too many gaps. We simply don't know the whole truth.
Well, if we're going to let him take the witness stand, we had better know what his answers are going to be ahead of time. Because one thing about Chris Pritchard is that after he states his name, everything else that follows is likely to be a lie.
Time has come to shake the tree and see what falls from the branches. And I know just the man to do it. You ever heard of Tom Brereton?
No.
He's a tough, experienced private investigator, the best in the state. Grew up in New York City, spent 20 years with the FBI. And he's got a personality that would make even you look positively demure.
Hi, Chris. Want to sit down, Chris? No, go ahead. Sit down.
Now, Chris, you told us a lot of things, but there's still a lot of blanks. And Tom is going to help us fill them in.
Sure.
So, Chris, tell me, what the hell is all of this Dungeons and Dragons crap?
It's not crap.
Well, it sounds like it to me. People going out with daggers and swords, killing other people.
No, it's not that. It's a test of your intelligence, of your endurance. And if you're smart enough and strong enough, you can earn fame and treasure and power.
No kidding. You were pretty good at it, huh?
When the obstacles are so enormous, and yet you make it through them, all of them, the feeling is it's overwhelming.
You see, there you go. I had no idea, really. Overwhelming. You were really into it, huh? I mean, it really gets into your head?
Yeah, there's no other feeling like it, except maybe.
Yeah? Except what? Drugs? Now, sometimes you've got maps to follow in this game, right?
Sometimes.
All right, well, let's talk about maps. Let's talk about the one the police produced of your Smallwood neighborhood in Washington.
The only map I ever drew was the one they asked me to draw back in March.
Right. And you printed the word Lawson on that map, isn't that right?
So what?
Well, I'll tell you so what. Expert analysis of the printing on that map shows that it's exactly the same as the printing on the first map that you drew. The one you gave to Henderson and Upchurch so they can find your house and kill your parents.
I never drew them any.
Bull!
I did it!
Chris, the printing on the map they found by the fire certainly did look like the printing you did in March.
I can't help what it looks like. I never drew any map for Henderson or Upchurch.
Maybe you drew a map for somebody else.
Well, I could have done that. I mean, I don't remember this, but I suppose it's possible for a Dungeons and Dragons game. Mapping out a scenario. Or I could have drawn one for a friend of mine. I had this friend, his name was Brian. I remember he wanted to come down to Little Washington, but he didn't know where we lived. Maybe I drew a map for him.
You got a lot of friends, haven't you, Chris? Did you tell them all about your parents having money?
No, I don't know.
Well, how the hell are you going to deny that? We already have 10 people that said that you did.
No, I didn't even know anything about this.
Chris.
This whole inheritance thing.
Your own mother told Mr. Osteen here that she explained to you very carefully that there was quite a large inheritance.
No. No, I didn't know anything about that. I only heard about the inheritance after all this had happened.
Chris, if you stick to that statement, you put me in the position of having to choose between you and your mother over who's telling the truth. And I can tell you frankly, that's not a hard choice. Gotta make a phone call. Be right back.
Henderson.
What's that?
Henderson said that he drove up church to your house. He said he provided the transportation to kill your parents, and he said he used your car. Now, why would he say a thing like that?
Beast me?
Come on, Chris, you're gonna have to do better than that.
I don't know why he said that, all right?
Maybe he said it because it's the truth. Did you ever see these before? They're murder weapons, so they say. Did you ever take Henderson to your house?
No, never.
Well, how about Upchurch?
Nope. Well, we drove by once, but we didn't stop in.
Well, now you admit Upchurch saw your house before.
It was dark.
Yeah, well, it was dark when your stepfather was killed, too. And your friend Upchurch had a map with your printing on it showing exactly where the house was. And the whole time that he's gone, your car is gone, too.
I never said my car was gone.
You don't have to. What you have to remember, Chris, is that I've been in this business for more than 20 years, and I have been hogwashed by a lot better hogwashers than you.
It didn't hogwash. It's just that my memories... Look, I was taking a lot of drugs. And sometimes I just can't remember some things.
Yeah, like your inheritance?
Well, yeah, actually, that is a good example because I think I do remember something about that now. I think one time I might have said something to Bill, my roommate, about my grandparents giving my stepfather a lot of money. But I swear to God, Bill was the only person I ever told.
You swear to God.
Right.
Chris here was just telling me that his roommate, Bill, was the only person he ever told about his inheritance.
Yeah. How could you have told him if your mother didn't tell you until after the fact?
I don't know. I guess that's what I mean. My memory's bad.
And your problem isn't your own memory, it's other people's memories, like your friends who were told that if your parents were dead, you'd get a lot of money, buy a big house, fast car, you can take drugs, and you can play Dungeons and Dragons all year.
Look, I was drinking a lot of beer, I was smoking a lot of pot, I was dropping acid. You know, I might have said these things, but like I said, my memory's bad.
Chris, I want you to think clearly now. I'm going to ask you one more time. Did you ever leave anyone with the impression, I'm not saying that you wanted to see anything happen, but did you ever give anyone the impression that you would be better off financially if Leith and Bonnie were dead?
I think it's possible that I printed that word. Lawson. I think it's possible I printed that on the map. And I think it was Moog who drew that map. I think he was drawing it for a new Dungeons and Dragons scenario we were working out, and I might have printed it on it then.
Mm-hmm. When is it possible that you could have done this?
I don't know, about 8 or 9 days before.
About 8 or 9 days before what?
You know what before?
You listen to me, you stupid little ass. Do you think I'm swallowing any of this crap? Now, maybe you can shovel the stuff out to the others, but I am not a nice guy, and I am not buying one lousy, stinking, lying word of this. Now, Upchurch used that map to find your house, to kill your stepfather,
No,
try
he
to kill
didn't.
your mother,
No,
so that
he
you can
didn't,
inherit a
because
couple
he
$1 million.
was
Say
only
it!
supposed to
Say
steal a
it,
few
damn
things.
it!
He was only supposed to steal a few things! He was only supposed to steal a few things. Okay, I did draw the map.
You're damn right you drew that map, and you drew it for one reason and one reason only, and it wasn't robbery.
It was.
You drew that map so your friend Moog can find your house and murder your parents.
No, he said he'd just go into the house and steal a bunch of stuff then that we could take to a pawn shop, but all the stuff worth stealing was downstairs. He was never supposed to go upstairs to hurt anybody.
You understand there's a major difference from any story you've ever told before, huh?
We just wanted money so we could do more drugs and keep playing the game.
The game? The game? Dungeons and Dragons? Well, let me tell you something, my friend. This is not a game, damn it. This is real life. This is no stinking game. Do you get it?
Okay,
Do you get it?
yeah, okay, I did it. I planned it. Is that what you want to hear?
Yes.
Now you've heard it. Now you've heard it.
There you go.
Hey, is Chris out here?
No. He should be back by now, though.
Well, where did he go?
Mr. Osteen wanted to see him in Greensboro.
He was supposed to fix my flat tire.
Hope he's okay.
You know where I come from. This is where we put the cuffs on him and take him away.
And I'm a lawyer. I'm not supposed to let that happen.
That's terrific. You're working for this little bastard instead of against him.
It's a hell of an ethical dilemma, Tom. It's our obligation, Vosberg's and mine, to do everything we can to see that he gets acquitted.
Can't you just dump him?
Oh, in these circumstances, he most likely wind up in the gas chamber.
So what? He planned to kill his own mother. What if you guys do such a terrific job that he goes free? What happens then, knowing that he's gotten away with murder? If he tried to kill his mother once, what makes you so sure he won't try again? She's got a gun in the house, you know.
I need time. I gotta have time to work this out.
Well, you're not gonna let him go home now, are you? Are you?
Hello?
Bonnie, this is Bill Osteen. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but Chris won't be coming home tonight.
Why not?
We had a very rough session here today. Some questions were put to him, and by the end of the meeting, he was very upset.
Well, what questions?
I'm sorry I can't go into that now, but I wouldn't have been comfortable sending him home in the shape he was in. So I sent him to the psychiatric hospital at Chapel Hill.
Psychiatric hospital?
I'll make arrangements for you to see him tomorrow. Believe me, he'll be in good hands.
Well, I don't understand this. He seemed perfectly all right this morning. Can't you tell me exactly?
Sorry, I can't. I'll call you tomorrow.
Well, Bill, what you're telling me is that we have ourselves a client that we know is guilty of murder.
Right.
And we have got to defend him.
Jim, I can't justify leaving a client worse off than if I continued to represent him. How do we turn things over to somebody new at this point? At least we're familiar with this case, all too familiar.
I'm not suggesting we drop Chris Pritchard as a client. I am, however, grappling with this case, which could blow up in our face at any given moment in 100 different ways. I mean, hell, Bill, we don't even know what the prosecution's going to drag into court.
If we walk away and things did completely blow up, I'd be wondering the rest of my life if staying in would have made a difference. I feel I owe Bonnie.
I understand that. I truly do. But I also know one thing is for certain. We cannot let Chris Pritchard take the witness stand for two reasons. One, Mitchell Norton will shred him up on the stand.
Two?
Well, two is that he's a liar. And if he lies on the stand, that's perjury.
As far as testifying is concerned, Chris is not the problem. Bonnie's the problem.
Bonnie?
She's a material witness to the attack. She'll have to testify. What's she going to say when she finds out that Chris planned the murder? How's she going to defend him in court then?
You think Bonnie will lie on oath?
No, not the Bonnie we know. Not even to save her son. If she knows the truth, she'll tell it.
Well, then what's the answer?
I don't know. We gotta put things on hold until we find an answer.
What do you mean, not tell her?
I detest withholding information, but we just can't tell her. That's the only stipulation, Chris. The only one. You are not to speak to your mother of anything that happened that weekend. Do you understand? You're not to tell her anything. If you do, there's no way we can help you. Chris!
Yeah. Yeah, I understand.
Well, I have to tell you something that's extremely important. And I want to be sure you understand how vital it is to Chris before you talk to him. That's why I'm here.
Well, what is it?
I simply can't go into that. But it is imperative that under no circumstances should you ask Chris any question about anything that happened the weekend of the murder. You can talk about anything else, but not about Lee's murder.
Oh, Mr. Osteen. I mean, the last thing in the world I want to do is put on more pressure from Chris by asking a lot of questions, but I just don't understand why...
I'm sorry. I can only tell you this. The reasons are crucial to his defense. Crucial.
Hi, darling. Oh, boy, I'm so sorry you've had this setback. Your granddaddy and your grandma send their love. Oh, Angela got her tire fixed. Yeah, she finally got her fixed. And she hopes you're better soon. They won't tell me how long you're going to stay here.
I guess.
What, honey?
I guess I don't know.
Is there anything I can do for you? Well, I'm here, Chris. You know I'm always going to be here for you. Listen, this is going to soon be over. You know, you're going to look back and you're going to wonder how we got through it, but we will. I know that. We will. Honey, are you cold?
What do you want me to say?
I'm simply trying to understand, Chris. You say you didn't really hate your stepfather. What did you feel?
It wasn't that simple. To hell with it. I don't want to talk about it.
If you keep it inside you, it's not going to help anyone.
Nothing's gonna help.
You said it wasn't a matter of hatred. What was it?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm a screw-up. I've been a screw-up all my life. I killed him. I killed him. And I tried to kill her.
I've had several sessions now with the boy, and I'm convinced that until he sits down with his mother and tells her the truth, painful as it is, he might take his own life. When he finally told you the truth, he broke through an enormous barrier. And right now he's perched on a suicidal cliff, and he can't start backing away from it until he makes a full confession to his mother.
I can't let him.
What?
If I let that happen, his mother will be forced to testify against him in court.
Mr. Osteen, I have to make this clear to you. From a psychiatric standpoint, we might be talking about a matter of life and death.
This may sound melodramatic, but from a legal standpoint, I know damn well we're talking about a matter of life and death. That's why I can't let it happen. Doctor, might I remind you that I retained you as his psychiatrist. Now, no matter what your personal feelings might be, you do not have the freedom to say or do anything that is contrary to my instructions.
Very well. But I'll go on record right now as giving you all my professional opinion. The boy is a time bomb waiting to go off.
How did he look this time?
Thin as a rail. Pale, drawn.
Well, what do the doctors say? I mean, don't they tell you anything?
Dr. Royal is the one who had him, committed. He's obviously worried about Chris. He just can't seem to pin him down on exactly what the matter is.
Well, takes time. I guess he's only been there a week.
Well, I've seen him 3 times and he never gets any better. At least not as far as I can see. Psychiatrists. I think he'd be better off here at home.
Saturday when I get off work, I'll go with you.
Well, that would do him good. He'd be happy to see you. I'll take him some cookies. I'll bake him some apple turnovers, huh? Hello. Yes? Really? Well, when? Well, yes, I will be here. Wonderful. Good. Thank you. That was the hospital. They are letting Chris out tomorrow. Can you believe it? Angela, he's coming home. He's coming home.
What the hell did you let him out of here for?
I assure you I am not on the staff of the hospital, and no one consulted me about having Chris released.
You don't think he should have been released?
Hospital officials have the authority to do anything they wish. In their opinion, after 8 days under medication, they felt he could be sent home. Now, I disagree. But I don't run the hospital.
Can't you find another place to keep him, to send him?
Mr. Osteen, don't you see you're only avoiding the underlying problem? What the boy needs right now, more than any psychiatric facility, is to tell his mother the truth. And the sooner the better. Now, you've got to find a way, or I'll do it myself. Because until he can tell her, he's not only a danger to himself, but to her as well.
Chris, dinner's ready. Chris? You all right? What's wrong, honey? What's the matter?
Did you talk to Dr. Royal today?
What? Yes. Mm-hmm.
What did he say?
Well, he said that you've been going through a very difficult time. And I said, no, it's been a difficult time for all of us, of course. Only the police would just come out and tell us what they know. The truth will come out, honey. I know it will.
Everything I say, everything I do, everything I talk about is lies. And she doesn't know. It's all lies.
Your lawyers.
They don't live with their lying to work every day. What the hell difference does it make? I'll get the death penalty anyway. Or I come on living like this. I won't wait for them to do it when I can do it myself right now. At least it would spare my mother a lot more agony. You've got to do something or I'll do it myself.
Chris, just a moment. Just calm down. It's been arranged.
What?
Mr. Osteen has arranged for you to meet your mother and your sister in his office this evening.
What for?
To let them know the truth.
Well, I'd like to know what this is all about.
Of course. Bunny, I'm afraid this is not going to be very easy for you. We made our own investigation. We checked it out, and there's no question in our mind. Chris brought about what happened to you that night.
Oh, no, I don't believe that.
I didn't expect you would, but I had to inform you before the pretrial hearing begins.
Tell me what you found.
Much as I regret it, and believe me, I do, we are not yet in a position to share our findings.
What? You lay this bomb on me and you can't even tell me what it is?
To do so would create a tremendous problem in our defense of Chris. I have to take my word for it.
Oh, yes, your word, the word of the police, the word of the lawyers, the word of everybody but Chris himself, huh? It's ridiculous.
He admits now that he was involved. You hear me? He was involved. He wants you to know that. It's important to him for you to know that. He needs to hear what you have to say. He needs your support if you feel you can give it. But it's still imperative that you not discuss any events surrounding the murder.
It's ridiculous.
Can we depend on that?
It's absurd.
I said, can we depend on that?
I just don't understand why.
I'm asking you for a guarantee on that.
All right.
Good. Good. Let's go.
I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry.
Chris, I don't know what you have told them or what they have told you. Maybe through some awful mistake or misunderstanding. You know, you might have said something that someone else took and used to his own ends. Something that unintentionally brought about what happened that night. I know that you are innocent, you know, of whatever it is that they're talking about. They haven't even said. They don't even have one fact. They don't have one fact worth a damn. Now listen. I am here for you. You keep that in mind. I love you.
The state will prove when we come to trial that it was Christopher Pritchard who planned the attack upon his stepfather and his own mother. That it was James Upchurch who committed the murder of Leith Von Stein and the brutal attack upon Bonnie Von Stein. That it was Neil Henderson who drove the car to the scene of the murder. Together and in consort, they willingly planned and executed this brutal crime.
The state will bring irrevocable proof of this when we come to trial.
Miss Von Stein, is something wrong?
It was him. It was Henderson.
What about him?
It was him I saw in my bedroom that night he killed Leith.
Miss Von Stein, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I'm afraid you must be mistaken. See, Neil Henderson simply drove the car that night. Upchurch is the one who came into your house.
No.
We have got Henderson's confession.
Of course he confessed. If all he did was drive the car, then he could blame everybody else. Mr. Fosberg, I swear to you, it was Henderson I saw that night, not Upchurch. Henderson.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
What?
What's going on with Chris right now? Why would they arrest him unless they had some kind of evidence? And why would they set his bail so high unless they thought he had a whole lot to do with it?
I know, and it scares the dickens out of me.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid our Bonnie is just closing her eyes to all this.
George, if we don't want to believe any of this, how must it be for her?
Did you get a good look at Chris this morning? That boy is about to crack.
Chris is not in his room. I guess he's outside.
Oh, Bonnie, I've been thinking about you and your mama going off to find a motel to stay in during the trial.
Oh, we won't be long, Daddy.
Oh, well, Elizabeth City's quite a ways. Maybe I better go with you.
We'll be perfectly all right. You know, and you got your work here. And once we find something, we'll come right back.
Are you sure? You absolutely sure?
We'll be fine.
Well, just so you know, Bonnie, I don't care how long that trial takes. From the first day to the last day, your mama and I are going to be right there for you.
I know, Daddy. And Chris and I, we love you for it. You and Mama, I don't know what we'd do without both of you.
Ah, my precious girl.
Yeah. Chris? Hey, they're almost ready for us.
Okay.
Oh, honey, don't let it get you down. Come on now. Don't let it get you down. Well, they're just about ready. Come on. We got to get in there before your granddaddy eats up all the pies. There won't be anything left for us, huh?
I'm sure your daddy's gonna like the motel just fine. It's comfortable, and it's close to the courthouse.
This hadn't been easy on the two of you either, huh?
Oh, darling, we haven't lived all this time together without a few ups and downs. Sometimes the downs get so piled up, you wonder how you'll ever get around them. But, of course, with somebody like your daddy at your side, it's different. Oh, darling, you'll get around this. You've got us, and you'll get around it. Good heavens, what are those cars?
The one in front is Kitty's, and that van is Ramona's.
Looks like a family gathering.
Oh, dear God.
What is it?
You don't suppose anything has happened to Chris?
What's going on?
Come on inside and I'll tell you.
Is it Chris?
It's not Chris.
Oh. Well, where's Daddy?
He's back in the woods this afternoon. Behind the house, cutting down a dead tree. He was underneath it when it fell. He's dead.
Oh. Oh. I'm so sorry.
We can't go for it. I talked to Dr. Royal last night about a possible insanity plea, but it doesn't seem like a viable option since there is no mental illness. On the other hand, mind you, Royal will not rule out that Chris might kill again.
What's the matter, Bill?
If it isn't the eminent district attorney, Mr. Norton.
And his associate, Keith Mason.
Mm-hmm. What do you say we do a little probing?
Probing, Bill?
Yeah. See if we might not wangle ourselves into something.
You thinking maybe a plea bargain, Bill? You think these boys would go for a plea bargain when they got Neil Hennison in their back pocket?
Watch this.
All righty.
Gentlemen, what kind of prosecutions are you two cooking up today?
Well, we don't have to cook them up, Bill. They come to us. Take your client, Christopher Pritchard, for instance. Boy's guilty of sin. As detestable young man as I've ever seen. Murderous, skinny little wimp.
You know something, Mitchell, that's funny. I do believe you have put your finger right on it. The wimp part, that is.
In fact, he is such a wimp that the only part he could have played in this whole thing probably was an inadvertent one.
Oh, no question.
People carried this thing out. They weren't wimps.
No.
Maybe we ought to sit down together, and maybe we might have something to talk about.
Oh, really? Like what?
According to the Code of Ethics, gentlemen, I am required to explore any possibility of a settlement. Not that we've talked to our client about this. I'm simply asking, what would your attitude be?
Well, certainly as public official, I have a duty to consider any and all alternatives that might be suggested in good faith.
Well, let us say, just theoretically then, what would be your position in regard to sentencing?
I haven't really thought about it.
May I offer you my position? I would want you to agree not to argue for any particular sentence, and to let me argue for as light a sentence as possible, but to leave it strictly in the hands of the trial judge.
In return for what? I mean, a lot of what we might agree to here depends on what Chris Pritchard is willing to admit.
He will testify that the plan was pretty much what Neil Henderson has said it was. That I promise you. I'm sorry about your father.
Thank you. Mr. Osteen, I appreciate the lunch, but somehow I feel you didn't invite me here just to be sociable.
No. No, I think I'll have to say that something urgent, something more pivotal has finally come about.
Something more than suspicious?
Yesterday, we made an arrangement with the prosecuting attorney. If Chris changes his plea to guilty and promises to testify truthfully, he might receive a far lesser sentence.
Whoa, wait a minute. What do you mean? What do you mean guilty? I mean, why would he do that? How could you even consider something like that?
Bonnie, there are a lot of factors involved here.
Oh, yeah, there are always hundreds of factors, but there are never any facts.
Chris has already agreed to it. The charge of first-degree murder will be withdrawn.
No.
All right. You want the truth. You want the facts. Well, the time has come, both for you and for Angela. I'm just sorry we couldn't tell you before.
Tell me what?
No. This is something that Chris will have to do himself. Go ahead.
I can't.
You're not gonna leave this room until you've told them. Tell them. Tell them! The truth.
It was the summer session. The first week. That's when I met him. Upchurch in Henderson. There was a poster on the bulletin board that wanted to play us for a Dungeons and Dragons game.
You played before, right?
Yeah, in high school.
Yeah, what's your schedule?
Huh?
This isn't a casual once-in-a-while thing, man. How tough is your school schedule?
I've got time. I can handle it. We took the game into a different realm. We used to go down to the steam tunnels and make up these duels. It wasn't like anything else. You're in another place, another time, and yet everything's real. Everything is points. Experience points. That's what you're out for. But with Moog, we made up our own rules. We had points for everything.
All right, 5,000 points. You bang on the table and shout, "Serving Winch, bring us more ale!"
Serving Winch, bring us more ale!
I'm buying. All right, tell them, Chris. Tell them how much your parents got. How many houses they got?
3.
How many cars?
7.
And how much in the bank?
2. 4, about 6 million. What difference does it make when they die? I'm in for a hell of a lot of money. Buy a big house in the woods, and you guys can live there with me. And we'll all have Ferraris and expensive stereos.
Computers?
Right.
We're gonna have the most advanced Dungeons and Dragons games they make.
Yeah. I mean, when they die.
Want it? Come on. Hey, Chris. Is that true about your parents having all that money?
Maybe not all the cars and houses, but my stepfather does have over 2 million.
Oh, yeah?
Move. What do you think, Pastor Zach?
Yeah. I heard of guys killing their fathers before. But you better not believe in God.
Make a hell of a lot of points, wouldn't it?
It's the ultimate.
So, what if my parents were dead? Real soon? What if I had somebody go kill them? How? I don't know.
Maybe a fire. You know, arson. And you put drugs in the food and then you set the house on fire.
How about this weekend? Then Moog got me some sleeping powder for the barbecue. How many, Lee? 2 for you?
2's fine. You keep that up, you can make our breakfast in the morning.
I won't be here. I've got a term paper due. It's very important. And after the barbecue on Saturday, I met Moog by this bridge where he was waiting for me. It's no good. This stuff didn't work. What the hell did you give me anyway?
I don't know. Some guy gave it to me. He said it'd put you to sleep for hours.
Nothing.
Look, man, maybe this fire thing's too complicated anyway, you know? I mean, too many things could go wrong.
Driving over here, I got to thinking, what if there's a break-in?
Yeah, break-in?
You know, make it look like a robbery that got out of hand. Then you go upstairs and then you do it there.
Yeah, that's good.
And Mook said, you know, I was thinking, what if I used a machete?
One good hit's all it would take.
And I said, yeah? Yeah, that's good.
Chris, what about Angela?
Angela?
What if she wakes up? What if she hears me?
And I said, I guess. Well, I guess you kill her too. The next morning, Mook laid out the plan.
Here's the deal. Chris stays on campus. Stays up late so people know he's here. That's where you come in.
You drive the car. My car.
You're not driving?
Got no license. Suspended.
If Mook gets stopped for any reason, the whole thing's off. I'm giving Mook a key to the back porch, but he'll make it look like a break-in on his way out.
There's a map Chris drew. It's got the house and the streets. It's even got the dogs to avoid near the house.
That night, I met them in the parking lot. Keys.
Chris, come here. You gotta stay up till 3 or 4. You know, be safe. You play some cards and don't get any more stoned than you are now, okay? Which side of the bed does the old man sleep on?
Right.
All right. Let's go.
And then they drove off.
Bundy,
Do you have any questions? Angela?
He was out of his mind. That was not Chris. None of this would have happened if it weren't for the drugs.
Machete.
Have you discussed the case fully with your attorneys?
Yes, sir.
And are you all satisfied with their services?
Yes, sir.
You understand that by pleading guilty to 2 felony charges, aiding and abetting murder in the 2nd degree, you could be imprisoned for a possible sentence of life or 50 years?
Yes, sir.
Do you now personally plead guilty to the charge of aiding and abetting the murder of Leith von Stein?
Yes, sir.
Are you in fact guilty of that charge?
Yes, sir.
The court will accept a change of plea and permit the defendant to remain free until he is sentenced.
Bill? Can I speak with you for a moment?
Sure.
Seems that we're on the same side now. I think you'll agree we're gonna need all the ammunition we can get to convict Upchurch.
I've already given you Chris.
What about his mother?
What about it?
Well, you say she's not sure that it was Upchurch you saw in the bedroom that night.
So?
That's gonna be very damaging to us when she testifies in court. And she's got to testify, Bill. She's a material witness. Now, how do I convince her she might be wrong? After all, I am the prosecutor who went after her son.
But she's not all that fond of me either. Why don't you speak to her lawyer, Wade Smith? If she trusts anyone, it's Wade.
Frankly, I don't care to hear anything Mr. Norton has to say to me.
Well, keep in mind, Bonnie, at least, that he is prosecuting the person that actually murdered your husband.
It hasn't been proven yet.
Well, according to your own son, it was Upchurch.
My son has a great deal to answer for, but one thing is certain. He wasn't there when it happened. He doesn't know who was in that bedroom. He may have seen Upchurch and Henderson leave the university, but he doesn't know what happened later.
Well, could we just, could you just go back over it with me for a moment? Perhaps it just might help to clarify it in some way.
Go over what?
Well, first of all, you were sound asleep when you first heard Leith cry out. Is that right?
Yes.
And then when you woke up, what did you see?
Well, nothing at first. I heard someone in the room. There's something moving toward me. Something came crashing against my head. And then I could see just a dark form, a neck so thick, so heavy, as though his head just went right to his shoulders. And then a whirring sound. I don't know how long I was lying there. And then I heard the door close. Softly. That was so strange. And then I heard Leith. He was still breathing. I touched him in the darkness. There was blood everywhere.
Now, when you saw this form, you were lying on the floor?
Oh, yes.
Well, could you just, could we try that here? Now, I know how difficult this must be, but if you could just lie down on the carpet here, just for a moment. Could you do that?
Like I was that night.
As close as you can.
Okay.
And, could you take off your glasses?
Yeah.
Now, what would it take to make me look like the person in your bedroom that night?
Much, much heavier. And, less neck.
Now?
No, you still don't look like him.
All right, well, let me try something else now. All right. How about now?
That might be a little closer.
Then, under certain conditions, even I might wind up looking like the person who attacked you.
I'm just not sure. It was so dark.
Yes?
Well, I suppose under these circumstances you bear some resemblance to the man.
All right, Bonnie. All right. Just the possibility that you're not certain. Just that.
Hello?
I believe you've met Mr. Mason, Mr. Young.
Oh, yes, Mr. Young, and I have been acquainted for many months. We've had our differences.
Just doing my job, Bonnie.
Oh, yes, well, all of you, you're just doing your job. What do you want now?
I'm here to help the district attorney in any way I can.
Well, you have my son's confession. What more do you want?
As I understand it, Bunny, you will testify in court that you cannot positively identify your attacker.
And I cannot be absolutely certain.
I'll also be asking you questions about your son's relationship with your husband. How they had violent quarrels on many occasions.
That's not true.
Bonnie, we have testimony from Chris that...
What are you trying to do? Oh, I see. You want to make it appear as though they hated each other, huh? They did not hate each other.
Your husband is dead.
They did not hate each other.
Bonnie, if you defend your son in court, the jury will wonder who benefited most from Leith's death.
I don't know what you're talking about. Benefited the most. How about who suffered the most,
You sound like a mother instead of a victim.
Well, unfortunately, I'm both, aren't I?
Would you like to know that my first perception of this case was to bring charges against you? You were there in the house, and you inherited all your husband's money. You had the strongest motivation of them all.
And now, after all this time, you still think that?
No, not you. But what about Angela?
Angela?
She was there, claiming she never heard a thing. And next to her bed is a glass of ice water with ice still in the glass when she was supposed to have gone to bed hours before. Let me share with you some information Henderson told the police. Angela and Upchurch knew each other. In fact, Upchurch wanted to marry Angela.
It's not enough, huh?
What's that?
It isn't enough that you have my son. And now you want my daughter. Are you finished?
Mama? Okay, I'm gonna work the 4 o'clock shift so you don't have to hold dinner for me, okay?
Angela, can I ask you something?
What?
Come and sit down. Did you ever know Moog?
Yeah, I met him once at the university when I went to visit Chris.
That's all.
Well, he, didn't, strike me as a violent type person. I just can't see him hurting anybody.
There's something that Chris told us. He said he gave Moog the key to the back porch. But Chris didn't have the key to the new back porch, so he must have given him the old one.
What's the difference?
Well, if it was a staged break-in, like the police say, break-in on his way out, and Moog had the wrong key, how'd he get in?
I don't know. I was asleep like you were. I have no idea. I'm gonna go.
Court is in session. The state of North Carolina versus James Bartlett Upchurch III and the murder of Leith Von Stein. The Honorable Thomas S. Watts presiding.
Now then, Mrs. Von Stein, did your husband and your son get along?
As well as any loving father and son can get along.
Did they have occasion to quarrel about your son's grades at school?
Oh, on occasion. We then decided that I would render the discipline from then on instead of Leith.
Who is this individual?
It was my husband.
And your injuries, Mrs. Von Stein, were of such a nature that you were hospitalized?
Yes.
Now, you've stated that you went to bed shortly before midnight.
Yes.
Awakened by your husband.
I heard him screaming. There was a lot of confusion. There was someone standing at the foot of the bed.
Someone? You're nearsighted, Mrs. Von Stein. You wear glasses.
Yes.
Would you remove them, please? You recognize me?
I can see your mouth and your eyes, but I can't tell you just what they look like.
Can you see my mustache?
Not well.
All right, you can put your glasses back on now. This person who attacked you, could you describe the type of clothing he was wearing?
It was too dark. He had his hand raised, and he had something in his hand. He was striking us with it. He was bulky. He was big through here. It looked like he had no neck.
How long were you unconscious?
I don't know.
At any time during the attack, did you ever see more than one person?
No.
Can you identify the person?
No.
No more questions. Your witness.
You described the assailant as very broad-shouldered, no neck. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us the first time that you saw Mr. Henderson?
At the Beaufort County courtroom at the pretrial hearing.
That was the first time in broad daylight.
Yes.
Can you describe for us any feelings of recognition that you had at the time?
Objection.
The witness will answer the question.
I didn't recognize Mr. Henderson. I recognized that he had a shape that frightened me. I was upset to the point that I had to leave the courtroom.
Were you frightened the first time that you saw Mr. Upchurch?
No.
Mrs. Von Stein, do the physical features of Mr. Upchurch match the silhouette that you saw in your bedroom?
In the conditions that I have seen him, no.
Your daughter's radio next room was playing that evening, and it bothered you, and you got up and you had to shut the door.
Yes.
Now, you stated that your husband screamed at least 15 times at the top of his lungs?
Yes.
With Angela next door. Now, is your bedroom door a hollow door?
Yes, it is hollow.
Hey, did you get that message from Mrs. Dugan? She said that the cats are doing just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Chris?
He's going over his testimony tomorrow, Mr. Osteen.
Have you talked to him?
No, I haven't talked to him in quite a while. How are you? After hearing what they had to say about you today.
I wanted to get up and tell him that I sleep so soundly I couldn't hear a high school band if it were playing in the hallway. I'm not the one on trial, thank God.
You've been taking large quantities of drugs then. But how many hits of acid in a 30-day period?
Maybe 15, 17.
17 hits of acid in 30 days?
Yes, sir.
When you received the phone call that night from your sister Angela about the attack on your parents, how did you feel?
I was in shock.
Why? It was something you had planned.
Yes, sir, I knew this would happen, but at a deeper level, I didn't believe it.
When did that change?
When I saw my mother in the hospital. I had feelings of incredible remorse. I was so disgusted.
Did you think about the police?
Yes, sir, I thought about keeping away from them. I didn't want my mom to know what I had done. I'd lied to my family and friends.
In this plan you had, did you talk about your sister Angela, too?
Yes, sir, we did.
And what was discussed at that time?
She was to be murdered also.
Was there any particular reason for that?
No, sir, no particular reason.
What, if anything, did you stand to gain by Angela's death?
The entire insurance.
So in all your statements, you were lying, lying, lying.
Yes, sir.
And you were well aware, weren't you, that Neil Henderson claimed that Mr. Upchurch did the killing?
Yes, sir.
And that if you were convicted of the murder, you stood a good chance of being put to death in the gas chamber.
Yes, sir.
But with your plea bargain, you no longer face that possibility?
Yes, sir.
That deal saved your life, did it not?
Yes, sir.
No more questions.
This way, Bonnie. This way. There's a room on the left there. Go through that door. Ladies and gentlemen, please leave the ladies alone. They're going to a lot today. So we're trying to get them a little rusted up. Then they'll answer all of your questions. That's
it. I've decided to have Chris go back to Winston-Salem until he's sentenced. Too many reporters here, and I don't want him making a statement, especially since Neil Henderson's going to be testifying tomorrow. So, I guess you go back too?
No, I intend to hear what Henderson has to say.
Oh, Bonnie. Do you really want to listen to a description of just how he and Upchurch...
Yes. You may not believe this, but I came here for Leith. I came here only for Leith. I intend to hear every detail, painful as it might be, that brought about his death. I want to know all there is to know.
Elizabeth City, where Mr. Neil Henderson is testifying today as to his participation in the murder. As a government witness, he's expected to accuse his accomplice, James Upchurch, of the heinous crime. If his testimony should be concluded today, the trial is not expected to last another week. All eyes and ears, however, are now focused on Mr. Henderson. What revelations will he bring to this disturbing case?
Yes, sir. I first met James Upchurch at Yancey High School. That's where I became obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons. We both went off to the university at Raleigh. I had the highest SAT score in the history of Caswell County, but I flunked out of college.
You stayed near the campus, however.
Oh, yes, sir, so I could continue playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Tell us about the meeting with Chris and Upchurch.
Meeting?
When the plan was first discussed.
Oh, well, James Moog, we like to call him, said that Chris had a plan to come into his inheritance early. So I said, oh, what are you going to do, rob the house? Moog said, no, we're going to kill his parents so that he inherits.
And what did you say?
My exact words were, isn't that a little extreme?
Was this plan carefully thought out?
Yes, sir. They started outlining it to me. It lasted about an hour, going over the map in great detail.
Speak up loud as you can, Mr. Henderson. It's important all these folks hear what you have to say.
They asked me to drive the car. Drive him down, drop him off, pick him up, bring him back.
And what did you say?
Well, they said they'd give me either $2,000 or $20,000. Moog had it all figured out, just how he planned to kill him.
It's my primary weapon. I need something to knock him out with one good hit. And then, a knife. Wearing these gloves, I'm gonna put some black stuff all over him. You keep the map, look it over.
It was about 11:30 on Sunday night that we met in the parking lot by Chris's car. We pulled off on Lawson Road first. Moog wanted to see the area in front of the house.
That's the place. What time is it?
2:30. We drove to a spot on a dark, narrow, dead-end road.
All right. After you leave me off, you come right back to this point and wait for me, okay? Wait about half an hour, and I'll come back and meet you at this point, okay?
We drove down to a wooded lot behind the house. I went back to the spot we picked and waited. It was about a half mile across a wide field through the woods at the Von Stein house.
How long did you stay there?
I'm not sure. It seemed like forever. I was supposed to wait until he came back, but I didn't.
Why didn't you?
While I was sitting there, I kept thinking that something's gonna go wrong, or something's gonna go right. Either way, it wouldn't be very good. I was scared to death. So I decided not to wait for him any longer. I pulled out and went looking for him, but I didn't see any sign of him. So I drove off into another road nearby.
Why didn't you go back to where you agreed to meet?
Well, I figured he could see where I turned into.
How long did you sit there?
10 minutes. Maybe more. Maybe less.
I did it! Oh, man, I can't believe I did it! Oh, man, I don't want to see that much blood again the rest of my life. Let's get out of here. Let's go.
Moog told me to find a place to pull over so he could change his clothes. Then Moog told me to find another place. A dark place that didn't have any houses on it. All the way back to Raleigh, I kept expecting to hear police sirens, but I didn't. Got back to the college campus. Left the car there where we had picked it up. And it was over. Done.
Thank you, Mr. Henderson.
I don't believe a word of it.
Taking a look at the letter for Upchurch, I don't think he believed it either.
Your witness.
Mr. Henderson, you say you turned onto another road just hoping to see Upchurch, or that he would see you?
Yes, sir. I was hoping he'd see me driving back and forth on the highway before I turned off.
So you just expected him then to walk on down this highway with all his goodies about a quarter mile back rather than walking through a field that would provide camouflage for him to meet you where you agreed to meet?
I had expected to park the car where I was told.
But you did not.
No, sir. I got scared and I left.
Isn't it true the state has reduced charges against you and has agreed not to prosecute other charges?
That was the plea bargain, yes, sir.
And isn't it true that by your plea, you no longer face the death penalty? I give you a photo of Mr. Leith Von Stein. Isn't it true the last time you saw Mr. Von Stein, you saw him in that condition, or you put him in that condition on July 25th, 1988?
No, sir. That is not true. I did not do that. I could not do that.
Why did you get involved in this?
Look, Chris and Upchurch were my friends, you know. It was a time when I needed friends. What they had proposed to me seemed to be nothing more than a big adventure. You know, go out in the middle of the night, come back. I never really fully believed that Moog would do it. You know, I kept telling myself, yeah, he's just gonna go in there and come back out and say it was all a big joke. We can joke about it for years to come. Only Moog didn't come out and say it was a joke. Moog came out and said that he killed somebody.
I don't believe a word Henderson says. His testimony doesn't make any sense.
Why don't you give yourself a break? Why don't you just stay away from here until it's absolutely
He lies.
necessary?
There's nothing but lies. Will anybody just tell us the truth?
Well, you certainly aren't going to get it from Upchurch, that's for sure, since his lawyers have refused to let him testify. I'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Mama, why don't you go home for the weekend? I'm gonna go to Little Washington to visit Jenny.
Maybe I will. Hey, what are you doing here? What is going on? How did you get out here? Oh, for heaven. There are cats everywhere. Why did you leave the door open?
Huh?
Oh, God. Come here.
Sorry. I didn't do it.
No, don't you touch
Mom.
her. You just leave him alone.
Let me.
I said,
reach up and
I said leave him alone.
I'm not gonna kill it.
Leave them alone. Damn you. Damn you.
You can't even stand
Damn
up and look
you.
at me, can you?
Damn you. Damn you.
Just tell me that you hate me.
Damn
Why don't you just say that.
Just leave him. Damn you.
You can't even
Damn
stand
you.
up and look at me, can you?
Damn
You can't
you.
even
Damn
say it.
you.
Say that you hate me. Just say it.
You, the jurors, you saw Neil Henderson standing before you here. He's bulky, he's broad-shouldered, and no neck. And when Bonnie von Stein first saw him in another courtroom, it bothered her so much she got scared she had to leave the room. But the state would have you believe that doesn't make a difference. But there is a marked physical difference in the statures of Neil Henderson and James Upchurch. And the state would like you to believe that after Upchurch kills Mr. von Stein, he just strolls out onto that highway under all the big street lights, blood all over him, and somehow finds the car. When he didn't know that Neil had moved it. Here's Neil sitting in a different location just hoping Upchurch is going to stumble upon him. Now, do you believe that? It's like a game of Clue. You try to figure out who did something. Where was Angela at the time of the attack? She's safely tucked away in her bed, sleeping through all the screams, all the batterings. Even though her mother had to shut the bedroom door earlier to keep from hearing Angela's radio. And Leith von Stein screamed 15 times. Piercing screams. The state has not produced one piece of evidence that ties this defendant into being in that house or to being with Neil Henderson or having anything to do with this. There is only the testimony of Chris Pritchard and Neil Henderson. And we ain't getting the truth here. After you sat and listened through all the evidence, you're still not going to know what happened. I don't believe that anybody knows what happened. Well, now somebody knows what happened. But we have not heard it in this courtroom. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is a doubt. There is a sane and sensible doubt.
Doubt. You know, sometimes some lawyers want to put it in a wheelbarrow and push it around. Well, cases don't come in nice, neat little packages. People see and hear things very, very differently. And the only way you can get them to say exactly the same thing is to give them a script. Well, we didn't do that. There were no scripts. There's not one piece of evidence, not one bit, not one statement anywhere that says it didn't happen exactly like Chris Pritchard and Neil Henderson said it did. Some people believe in fate. But one thing that kept this investigation going was this map. The map drawn by Chris Pritchard. The map that led to the house. Now, I don't know if it was luck or fate or some other power that made it survive the fire. But look at it closely. Look at the burn marks on the map. Are you looking at the face of death? Or when you reverse it, are you looking at something more sinister?
Hello?
Chris? Bill Osteen. I thought you should know. Upchurch was found guilty by the jury.
Yeah, I heard the verdict on the news.
The defense will be going all out to avoid a death sentence. I think you should get back here as soon as possible, just in case they make a quick decision. Chris, did you hear me?
Yeah, okay.
He looks like a choir boy, doesn't he? Well, don't be misled by his well-groomed appearance. This man took a baseball bat and crushed Leith Von Stein's head. Then he took a knife and sliced through his ribcage like you would cut up a chicken. Now, the only way you can be assured that he won't do it again is to impose the sentence of death.
Bonnie, Chris will be back tonight.
Yes?
After his hearing, I'll take him away immediately. There won't be a chance to talk to him.
And what is there to say?
Mom, come on, the jury's coming in.
We, the jury, unanimously recommend that the defendant, James Bartlett Upchurch III, be sentenced to death.
Have anything you wish to say, Mr. Upchurch?
First off, I want to thank my attorneys. They've done a remarkable job. It's got my utmost respect. You, Your Honor, you obviously gone a long way to keep this trial from becoming any more of a circus than it already is. You know, I respect the trouble the jury's gone through to deliver their verdict. I am, however, appalled and shocked. I find it utterly amazing that the testimony of two confessed murderers would be enough to convict anybody to death. I'm forced to believe that I'm merely being convicted on the assumption of guilt by association. I'm an innocent man.
The jury is now dismissed, and the court will hear testimony on the sentencing of Neil Henderson.
Your Honor, Neil Henderson cooperated fully with investigators. He did everything he could to help. Anything they asked him to do, he did. Your Honor, we'd like you to take this into consideration when you make your decision.
The court wishes to commend Mr. Henderson for his honesty and cooperation, without which this crime might never have been solved. The court sentences you to 40 years in prison with a recommendation for study release. Court is adjourned.
Study release?
It's a program that could possibly reduce his prison term.
To what?
We'll say maybe 5 years.
Oh, no.
It's me.
You will need your things. Osteen said that you'd be taken into custody as soon as your sentence is handed down. Angela's in the coffee shop if you want to join her.
Mom. There can never be any excuse for what I did. None, I know that. No demons possessed me. And no drugs alone can make me do what I did. But whatever happens to me, whatever happens to me now, can never be worse than the last year hell I've been living through.
Did you really want to kill us?
No. I just wanted you gone.
Why?
Because I felt if you were gone, that I couldn't disappoint you anymore.
The court will now hear evidence on the sentencing of Christopher Pritchard.
Your Honor, of the 3 people involved in this brutal, savage murder, Chris Pritchard is more guilty than the other 2. I would ask the court to look at the maximum sentence.
That wasn't the deal.
Your Honor, nobody forced Upchurch and Hennessy to do what they did. Nobody. Christopher Pritchard was not the inducement in this case. He simply was not. The real inducement in this case were the 3 Ds, Your Honor. Dungeons and Dragons and drugs. I hope you'll take this into consideration, Your Honor.
Do you have anything you wish to say, Mr. Pritchard?
Yes, sir. I know that I'm guilty and I deserve to spend time in prison. I can't hold anything against Moog Upchurch or Neil Henderson for what they did. The Lord asked me to forgive them, and I have. Just as He's asked me to forgive myself, which I haven't quite been able to do just yet. But if I could speak to my family, I want to thank them for being here. Even though I feel I don't deserve your support. And I want you to know that I love you. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Please rise for pronouncement of sentence. Mr. Pritchard, I believe you are now remorseful. I don't doubt it. I believe if you had it to do over again, if you could go back and undo those you have wronged, you would do so. But you can't. You must pay the consequences for those events which you have put into motion. The court sentences you to life imprisonment plus 20 years. You may step to the spectator area if you wish, Mr. Pritchard. Say goodbye to your family. Order's adjourned.
I had one feeling going into the trial. I still have it now. That there are more things out there than we will ever find out.
I never thought Bonnie was a part of this. I know a lot of money was involved, but I have a hard time thinking anybody would subject themselves to the kind of injuries she sustained. What if the knife had gone in deeper?
I've covered more homicides by stabbing than I can count. And I can tell you that you never send in one person to kill three. You can't expect to kill the second, much less the first, without waking the third.
Moog had this thing about Angela, infatuated with her. He said he'd finally met a girl he'd like to marry.
When Henderson confessed, he gave us Chris, and he gave us Upchurch. So if Angela had anything to do with it, don't you think he would have given us Angela, too?
The drugs, the Dungeons and Dragons, maybe they weren't responsible. But I'll tell you this, there wasn't a single 24-hour period when I wasn't drunk or stoned or tripping.
James Upchurch remains on death row at Raleigh Central Prison, awaiting an appeal and still maintaining his innocence of any involvement in the crime. Neil Henderson is at the Hartnett County Correctional Institution in North Carolina under the Study Release Program. Christopher Pritchard is now at the Yadkinville Correctional Institution, a few miles from his mother's home in Winston-Salem. They continue to see each other on every visiting day.